Blackstock from the PT Council of New Zealand, who will officially introduce us to our esteemed presenter, Justin Tamsett. But before I do that, just for the newbies, if you have not been here before, let me tell you how you can ask questions along the way during our session. On your screen, you'll see a GoToWebinar control panel. Now, in there is a box or section within that control panel called Questions. So if you open up that Questions section of the control panel, you'll see there that you can actually type things in. So if you have a question for Justin along the way today, simply type it into that Questions section of the GoToWebinar panel, and I will then interrupt Mr. Justin at an appropriate time, and I'll read it out to him and he can answer it for everyone to hear. So that's how you can ask questions today. But for now, let me hand you over to Hilary Blackstock from the PT Council of New Zealand.
Cool, thanks Annalee. Happy Friday everyone, and thank you for taking time out of Fun Day Friday to join us. I'm Hilary from the Personal Trainers Council, and I've got the honour this afternoon of introducing Justin Tamsett to you all, who's going to share his insight and passion with us this afternoon. Justin's been in the fitness industry since 1988 as a personal trainer, a salesperson, a club manager and a club owner. He was an inaugural inductee into the Fitness Australia Roll of Honour in 2011, Australian Fitness Network Presenter of the Year in 2008, and the winner of Fitness Australia's Presidential Award for Industry Contribution in 2006. He's been facilitating the Australian Industry Roundtable program since 2004 for clubs and personal trainers in Australia and New Zealand. As the Managing Director of Active Management, he consults with clubs in customer service, retention, marketing and strategic development. He is regarded internationally as an industry thought leader as he challenges the comfort zone of business owners. Welcome, Justin, and a massive thank you for taking part in this series of webinars. We really appreciate it. So sit back, listen and take notes and enjoy the next 30 minutes.
Well, thanks, Hilary, and it's great to be here, and we really, as Managing Director of Active Management, we love supporting education as we try to enhance personal training businesses and personal trainers' lives around the world. So it's a great opportunity, and I really appreciate everybody logging on today and listening to my sweet Australian dulcet tones. So happy Halloween to you, and kia ora, and go the Wallabies. Oops, sorry. That's that trick or treat thing, isn't it, that we pop in? So today's session is, does a right hook win you business? You know, this is a really interesting concept because what we know is, and I love using this analogy of boxing because most personal trainers get it. They get this concept of boxing. And boxing is actually a science. Yes, there's some artistic part of it, but it's a science. And if you ever get stuck in a ring, and thank goodness I never have, but I've watched plenty of people in a ring, you understand the science of it. And the science is this. You jab with your front hand. You jab and you jab and you jab and you jab until you get your opponent into a position where you can land a right hook. It might be a right uppercut or it might be a right hook. But what we do is we use our if we're, I don't know the difference between southpaw or whatever, but if I've got my right hand at the back, I jab with my left hand, and I'm jabbing and I'm jabbing and I'm jabbing until I get my opponent into a position. I will never, ever be able to throw a knockout punch with a jab, unless I'm super strong. I won't be able to do it. It's always going to be my right hook or my right uppercut. And so this slide is a great one for me because you can see this boxer. He's just getting his opponent now with that jab to get into a position to then let rip with that right hand straight across the chin to knock out his opponent. So this is an analogy that we're talking about, to be able to throw that knockout punch, which in other words, the analogy goes like this. We want to provide information to our clients and our prospects so that we can then roll out a right hook or an uppercut so that we knock the person out and they become a client of ours. You'll see more as we go through today. So what do we do at Active Management? One of the things that we do at Active Management is we do a lot of business coaching for personal training businesses. We have clients in New Zealand that we do business coaching with for PTs, as well as health clubs in Australia and New Zealand as well. Part of our role of doing that business coaching is to look at those PT businesses and clubs, their marketing, their offline marketing, their online marketing. And we're looking at their website, and we're looking at what they do on Facebook or on Twitter, for example. So we look at a whole range of different things, and that's why I think I'm in a pretty good position today to share with you 3 areas. We're going to look at prospecting, we're going to look at offline marketing, and with a big one, which is social media. And social media is where I see a lot of right hooks and very few jabs. So we're going to walk through these 3 things, and as Annalee said, if you've got any questions, feel free to pop them in the question box, and she'll interrupt me and I'll answer them. Or if you're listening to this as a recording, if you want to email me questions that you may have, feel free to email me. My email address is jt@activemgmt.com.au, or you can put it on our Facebook page and I'll respond to it there. You can send it to the PT Council and then they can forward it on to me. There's no excuse for not being able to get hold of me. I'm everywhere and you've got access to me. So if you've got questions, feel free to fire them at me if you're listening to the recording. So the 3 areas we're going to look at today: prospecting, offline marketing, and social media. What I generally see, though, across the industry, regardless of the size of the personal training business, whether it's an individual working inside a club as a contractor, somebody at Les Mills as a contractor, or whether it's somebody who's running their own outdoor studio, outdoor service, or they've got a studio. What I generally see currently is that trainers are pulling their hair out because they don't have enough leads. And my view is there are enough leads out there. It's just how are we approaching those leads. And what I see a lot with personal trainers is this need for instant gratification. So what that means is that trainers are going up to people in a gym situation and basically asking to dance too early. They're asking them for a complimentary session too early. And when we ask somebody for a complimentary session, Jean, would you like to have a complimentary session with me? That is like throwing a right hook. That's a sales-based question. Now, if we haven't done all the preparatory work prior, if we haven't built rapport, if we don't know who that person is, if we don't know what their goals are, if we don't know where they're heading, if we don't know what they've done, if we don't know anything about them, we've asked them to dance too early, and they're going to knock us back. Now, once you get knocked back by everybody in the gym or everybody in your community at 9 o'clock in the morning, you've got to change communities or you've got to change gyms because you've burnt all your prospective dance partners because you've thrown too many right hooks. So let's peel this back and we say, okay, well, what do we do? So prospecting, it's critical to just spend time getting to know people before you throw the right hook. I like to give a bit of advice where I think it's 6 contacts before you'd ask somebody to dance. Those 6 contacts might go something like this. Just introducing yourself first. I'm Justin, you are, nice to meet you. Second contact would be, oh, I remember you, you're Jean. Remember, I'm Justin. So, Jean, tell me a little bit about yourself and find out a little bit about them. Third contact, going back, hi Jean, remember me, I'm Justin, yes I do, great, how's your running going, how's your netball going, how's your field hockey going, how are the kids going, whatever she's told you previously, you can then ask that question. Notice at this point, I have not asked you to dance yet. All I'm doing is getting to know you. My fourth contact would be something like, hi Jean, great, how's everything going, how's what we know about her, and then I might slip in now, how is your program going? Are you struggling with any area? Yeah, look, I'm really tight in my hamstrings. Great. Why don't you come over here and I will show you some hamstring stretches that you can do in 3 minutes. Show them the hamstring stretches. Contact number 5 is we now can go back to Jean, we can ask what we know about her, and then we can say, how are those hamstring stretches going? Oh, I haven't done them, I forgot how to do them, let me show you again how to do them, let me give you some more, another hamstring stretch. And at the end of contact number 5, you can say, for contact number 6, do you want to dance? What I'd really love to do, Jean, is actually take you for a complimentary personal training session so that I can show you not just how we can work on your hamstrings, but how your hamstrings influence your back pain, and we can reduce your back pain by tightening up your core and improving your stability. So why don't I'd love to have 30 minutes of your time to take you through a workout. Now, Jean's got a much better chance of saying yes to dancing with me now because we know each other. She trusts me and we have a relationship. And that's where a lot of trainers are falling down, is they're just ripping straight into that right hook and saying, hey, Jean, would you like a complimentary personal training session? Jean's going, well, who the heck are you? Or, hi, I'm Justin. Nice to meet you. Would you like, well, I only know you as Justin, don't know anything about you. Why would I trust you with my body? Why would I trust you that you know what you're talking about? So the concept here is those first 5 contacts are jabs to get Jean into a position that when I throw that right hook or when I ask for the sale, and this is an initial sale, not necessarily to buy, but to have a complimentary session, then that has Jean in a position where she likes and trusts me and she'll say yes, and therefore my right hook lands. I hope that makes sense to everybody. See, if we just go out and we start throwing those right hooks, Jean can swing back, and Hillary can swing back, and Annalee can swing back. Everybody can just swing back, and I'm burning all my energy, burning all my competitors, and I'm not getting any further forward to making business. So that's the first aspect of this presentation, prospecting. 5 contacts before you ask the person to dance, before we ask for a complimentary session. Okay, number 2 is offline marketing. So offline marketing, you could define as your flyers, your newspaper ads, your posters that you put up around the community. It could be your car design, if you've wrapped your car with your logo on there. It could be your uniform. That's all offline marketing. And what the fitness industry is very, very, very good at is putting in call to actions. So a call to action is, when I read this brochure, your brochure tells me, or your flyer tells me exactly what you want me to do. And what that is pick up the phone and call, or grab me in the gym and talk to me about personal training. But that one call to action is what we call that right hook. That one call to action is that right hook. So if they don't know us, or they don't trust us, or they're not ready, then they just sway away from that right hook, and therefore we've wasted that energy again, we've wasted that opportunity. So with offline marketing, how do we jab with offline marketing to build the relationship and build the trust, so when the person is ready to start, they think of us? Well, the beautiful thing that we now have in the world, including in New Zealand, is this thing called the internet. And the internet allows us to communicate with people on a semi-regular basis or a regular basis, which allows us to build rapport and build trust between us and our potential client. If you think of Prochaska's stages of change of behaviour, the first change of behaviour stage is pre-contemplation. So in pre-contemplation, people are not even thinking about exercise. So it doesn't matter what you're advertising, what your marketing does, it doesn't matter how bright your car is. If they're not thinking about exercise, they're not going to see that. The next stage is contemplation, and this is where the word that they use when they're talking about exercise or weight loss or giving up smoking or changing the behaviour is they'll use the word should. I should lose some weight. I should get fit. I should start an exercise program. I should start using a personal trainer. And you'll hear a lot of this word being uttered by your friends and relatives and people that you know from about the 1st of December. They'll start saying, oh yeah, in 2015 I should get fit. So those people are all in contemplation phase. The next phase is preparation, and that's where they change their verbiage from should to going to. I'm going to get fit. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to start an exercise program. I'm going to find a personal trainer. These people are far closer then to moving to the next stage, which is the action phase. And the action phase is obviously when they start personal training with you, or they buy a gym membership, or they start their journey to lose weight. Now, there's only two ways people move through those stages of change. The first one is through a significant emotional event. So if somebody's in a pre-contemplation phase, not even thinking about exercise, and they go to the doctor and the doctor says, listen, Justin, if you don't start exercising, you are going to die of a heart attack within the next 30 days. Whoa. Significant emotional event. You have no control over that significant emotional event, but that is significant. And that has just pushed me, provided I want to stay alive, it's pushed me through all those phases and I'm ready to act, and I've walked into a gym or up to a personal trainer that afternoon to get started. The other way that we can move somebody through those stages of change is through education. And many of you see this now because you already do this. And this is where we ask people, and this is particularly prevalent, online, which is where people will go to your website or go to a website, download an ebook or download a fact sheet or download something for free, and then that business captures your email and then starts emailing you directly, building the relationship, building the trust by educating you. So what that means is every email that comes to you is a jab from that business. Every email that comes from that business is a jab, so that they're moving you into a position so that when they throw that right hook or have that main call to action, you think, I like these people, I trust these people have educated me, so I know more now about weight loss, or I know more about stretching, or I know more about running. I now want to buy from this personal trainer. So the concept here around offline marketing is to actually have two calls to action. Two calls to action. One call to action is for the people that are in the action phase of changing their behavior. In other words, I'm ready to start with a personal trainer today. So your call to action would be, call me today for your free complimentary session. Call me today to get 2 sessions for the price of 1. Call me today to sit down and have a chat about your lifestyle and how exercise can fit into it. That's your primary call to action, and that's going to get the people that are ready to rock. Now, the people that aren't ready to rock, the people that are in preparation or in contemplation phase, should or going to, you need a secondary call to action, which is go to our Facebook page and like our Facebook page for tips and motivation around exercise and nutrition. Go to my website and download our free Christmas menu and recipe book to keep off the Christmas kilos, for example, around the time of year we're coming up to. Go to my website to pick up our fact sheet on 10 exercises you can do in 10 minutes at home to get your body moving better. Go to your website, there it is, put in their email address, and then you can start marketing to them. So that is what I see a lot of in the industry, is we're just throwing these right hooks out and expecting to get people. But we're not going to get all those people, because the majority of people are not in an action phase. They're not ready to start an exercise program. What they want to do is they're shooting or they're going to start. So we need to collect that data from those people so we can then have a conversation with them. So let me just go through that again. Your jab process before you throw the right hook of the one call to action is collect their information. send them to your Facebook page, get them to like your Facebook page, follow you on Twitter, follow your Instagram account. Somehow get these people to start connecting with you from your offline marketing. If they're not ready to join yet, get them to connect with you so that when you do throw the right hook, they trust you, they like you, they know you, they're ready to buy. And the third section that I want to talk about today is social media. And what I see on a, I'd like to say regular basis, but I'm going to go so far as to say almost on an hourly basis. My wife must think I have no life. In fact, she knows I have no life, because when I'm on Facebook, I follow so many personal trainers and so many gyms, and 90% of the posts that are put up are a right hook. All they're doing is hook, hook, hook. In other words, they're trying to sell me something. They're trying to sell me something. They're trying to sell me something. They're not jabbing me. They're not trying to build a relationship. They're not trying to tell a story about the business so that I fall in love with the business and want to do more business with you and go from 1 session to 2 sessions a week, or at least even start with you. All it is are these call to actions like, get down to the park today for personal training with me and save 50%. It's like, that's a right hook. That's a right hook. So your social media posts must be engaging. They must be about building rapport, building trust, and educating. I like to sum this up, and a lot of people talk about this from the social media perspective. It's called adding value. So if I follow your Facebook page, I want you to add value to me. So if I'm looking to lose weight, I want information on there about losing weight. If I'm looking to run a half marathon, I want information about running a half marathon. If I'm stressed at work, I want information about how to reduce my stress at work. That's your responsibility to give me that information. And when you provide that information, whether that be a video, whether that be a fact sheet, whether that be just simple a status update, whether that be a photo with a comment on there, when you're adding value to me, that's all jabbing. You're jabbing, you're jabbing, you're jabbing. And I'm sitting there going, wow, this person really knows their stuff. Wow, this person is awesome. So when you then throw out the right hook, which is, if you'd like a complimentary session for either yourself or one of your friends, contact me today. I've got time tomorrow to take that. That's a right hook. They go, yep, I'm in. You've got me. And you've landed that right hook on my chin. So much social media is all about selling, and social media is not a sales funnel. Social media is a relationship building tool. It's an awesome book. It is one of the best books I've ever read, which will help you understand this even better. And it's by a guy called Gary Vaynerchuk, Vaynerchuck. If you just Google Gary V, V-E-E, it'll come up. Gary wrote the book, which this presentation is pretty much based on, which is called Jab, 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 Right Hook. And that is a textbook of how to work social media, how to jab in social media before you hook. It's an awesome book, and I highly recommend it. So in summary, here's what I would like to say, because we're pretty much almost right on time for 30 minutes. Here is in summary, is if you want to get more clients, if you want to build your client base, you need to build a relationship so that your prospect feels comfortable with you. You need to build a relationship so your prospect trusts you. Worst case scenario, you need to build a relationship so your prospect likes you. But I don't want them to like you. I want them to love you. I want them to trust you. I want them to feel super comfortable with you, so that when you throw that right hook, which is your call to action, which is asking them to buy something or attend something or catch up with you, that is the right hook. That when you ask that, it lands on their chin and they say, yes, it's a knockout punch. It's a no-brainer for them. They just go, yeah, sure, no problems. But a lot of personal trainers aren't taking the time to build that relationship. They're rushing it. They need to slow down, breathe, connect, and then throw that right hook. They need to slow down, connect, build that relationship with trust. So what I'd like you guys to think about is this: jab, 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 right hook. Jab, 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 right hook. And if you're in a really competitive environment, there won't be 3 jabs. You'll need to do 6 jabs. You might need to do 9 jabs. 9 bits of information where you're really building that relationship. There's 9 contacts with that person before you ask them for a complimentary personal training session. You're gonna know that, you're gonna learn that in the environment that you live and breathe and work in. But what you want to make sure is that that person is in exactly the position that you need them to be in, so that when you throw that right hook, there is no question in their mind to say yes to you. Okay, that's a pretty packed 30 minutes. Does anyone have any questions?
We do have one, Jay. Manuela asks, what was the name of that book again, please?
Oh, the name of the book? Yep, it's called Jab, 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 Right Hook. And the author was Gary Vaynerchuk, Vaynerchuk.
Beautiful.
Any other questions?
No, Manuela says thank you. No, it looks like maybe you did a good job because people are speechless. That was awesome. Great information. Very, very cool.
Now, just before I go then, I want to throw everyone out a challenge. And what I want you to think about is, after this presentation today, I want you to write some notes about what you need to do differently in your marketing, your offline marketing, your social media, and your contacting or your prospecting. What do you need to do differently? Write those notes down now on day 1. And then set a plan for what you need to do by day 10 to improve one of those 3 areas. Then you can tick that box off. Day 20. So from days 10 to day 20, you're working on another one of those strategies, and from day 20 to day 30, you're working on your 3rd. So day 1, write the notes. Then you say, okay, well, the first thing I'm going to work on is social media. So from day 1 through to day 10, you're working on social media and getting a better understanding around those jabs. Then from day 10 or day 11 to day 20, you're working on your prospecting and getting a better understanding and working on your scripting and building your confidence to go up to people and just have conversations rather than throwing right hooks. And then from day 21 to day 30, you might work on your offline marketing and making sure you've got that refined. So that's the strategy process. Sitting here and listening to the webinar, either live or as a recording, that's the easy bit. The hard bit is the implementation. So I'm challenging you over the next 30 days is to start to implement some of these ideas and change what you're doing and start jabbing instead of hooking. That's me done, Annalie. That's me done, Hillary.
Awesome. Hey, thanks so much, Justin, for your time, your expertise. Guys, you can see all of Justin's details there. Like he said earlier, he's everywhere, so there's no excuse for not finding him. But certainly make a note of those details to contact Justin if you've got any further questions or you want any further information. And of course, you can, I've forgotten totally what I was about to say. Anyway, thanks so much for spending time with us, Justin. Thanks, Hillary, and thanks to everyone for coming along. You will be able to access the recording of this, I believe, through the PT Council of New Zealand, and that'll be in a few days or so. So they'll be in touch with how you can do that. But for now, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Thanks for the expertise, Jay, and I will officially close off our webinar and wish you all a wonderful rest of the day and a great weekend. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much, everyone.